Hello and welcome to Methuen Now, the good news program of our community. I'm your host, Michelle Houle. People across the country celebrated Juneteenth, a day that marks the end of slavery in the United States. Here in Methuen, a special celebration took place at the First Baptist Church. Inside Methuen's First Baptist Church, joy filled the room. Music, smiles, and the sound of celebration echoing through the sanctuary. This marks the fourth year the church has hosted a Juneteenth celebration, a day that honors June 19, 1865, when enslaved African Americans in Galveston, Texas, were finally told they were free, more than 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation.
Juneteenth is more than a commemoration of that day. It is a call to remember, it is a call to educate and to celebrate. It reminds us of how far we have come. Also, it reminds us of how far we must continue to go. But in the going pursuit, we must be reminded that there needs to be justice, equality for all humankind.
The event featured reflections from local leaders, musical tributes, and an open invitation to the community to come together and celebrate Black history, culture, and resilience.
Now let's talk about Juneteenth, not just as a moment in history, but as a mirror for where we've been and a map for where we must go. On June 19, 1865, Union troops arrived in Galveston, Texas, and finally delivered the news that more than 250,000 enslaved African Americans were free 2.5 years. 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation had declared it so. 2.5 years of continued bondage. 2.5 years of stolen labor, stolen time, stolen lives. That delay was no accident. It was an act of cruelty, one last desperate grasp at power by those who refused to accept the truth of human equality. But Juneteenth is not only a story of delay, it's a story of deliverance. It's the story of a freedom long withheld and finally claimed. And what's most remarkable is what came next. Because the people who received that news in Galveston didn't stop at freedom. They built families, businesses, churches, schools. They created traditions, forged identity, and fueled movements. They turned survival into strength, and strength into legacy. Juneteenth is a celebration of that legacy.
Pastor Burns, along with community members and city officials, spoke about the meaning of Juneteenth today and the importance of carrying that message forward.
Unity in the community, we've heard that before. Reverend Burns says that often, but I think you'd agree, Reverend, not just a slogan, it's a commitment and it's a promise. And I want you to know that we understand that's a promise that we have to make to ourselves every day. That's a commitment we have to make to ourselves every day. We understand that building trust is something that means putting in the work. Not just today when we're celebrating Juneteenth, but every day.
Dr. King wrote from a Birmingham jail that justice too long delayed is justice denied. And still, he wrote. Still, he marched. Still, he believed. He reminded us that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. And President Obama, standing on his shoulders, gave us this challenge. Grab that arc, grab it, and keep bending toward justice. So let's do it. Let's grab that arc. Let's bend it in the direction of justice. Let's bend it in the direction of equality. Let's bend it in the direction of dignity, of opportunity, of freedom that is not reserved for some, but guaranteed for all.
With each note of music and each shared story, the Methuen First Baptist Church reminded everyone that while freedom was delayed, its celebration won't be. This year's celebration wrapped up with a message of hope, joy, and the promise of continuing the work started long ago.
God, we thank you, Lord, for what our eyes have seen and what our ears have heard. We ask that you bless us and give us the courage to continue to go forward, to be a community and stand strong against injustice, racism. Make us all a family, God, and give us the courage to love you and to love one another.
With the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution beginning this year, independence is the theme of most of our celebrations this month. Historic Methuen led the community in remembering the words that started it all.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Many of us learned these famous words in grade school, but on this very spot 250 years ago, the Methuen residents who heard them knew the meaning of the words, not historically, but by living them.
That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness.
Nearly a 50-year-old town at the time, Methuen citizens would have known the oppression and taxation being addressed in the Declaration. Today, we have the historical context of the centuries to look back on, and this yearly tradition is a way to remember those who fought for the freedom we enjoy today.
The records of our town say that on July 17, 1776, it was ordered by John Hancock that the Declaration of Independence be printed and a copy sent to the ministers of each parish of each denomination within this state. They were required to read the Declaration to their respective congregations as soon as divine services ended in the afternoon of the first Lord's Day after they shall receive it. After it was read, they were instructed to deliver the Declaration to the clerks of their towns or districts, and that they were required to record the Declaration of Independence in their respective towns or district books to remain a perpetual memorial thereof. And if you were to look at our town records today, you will find the Declaration of Independence dutifully transcribed by Richard Whittier, who was then the town clerk.
The Meeting House Hill Burial Ground is the final resting place of many of Methuen's founders and Revolutionary War Minutemen and soldiers. With graves dating back to pre-Revolutionary War times, the gates to the city's oldest burial grounds were open for tours. But even this rare opportunity was eclipsed by a visit from Middlesex County 4-H Fife and Drum Corps. These young people are the current performers in a group that has run continuously since 1972. They have participated in events such as a reenactment of the Boston Tea Party, the Veterans Day flag retirement ceremony at Sleepy Hollow Cemetery. And for over 30 years, this group has been the honor corps for the Concord Patriots Day Parade, greeting each group as they pass over the historic North Bridge, commemorating the start of the American Revolution. This year, they took time to celebrate with Methuen residents while honoring Methuen residents. American Independence Day isn't a holiday without the 3 F's: fun, family, and fireworks. Karen Hayden tells us more about this year's celebration.
Popcorn, cotton candy, ice cold water.
Methuen celebrated Independence Day at the Loop on July 5th. Attendees lined up for all sorts of goodies that were available on site, from food trucks and local stands, like Marsan & Sons, who donate the proceeds to a local veterans charity. Kicking off the entertainment was the Veterans Den Band. Families who come from the fun and games tried out various skills like shooting hoops and throwing axes. Gigi and the Gravity Men, playing classic favorites, were up next.
All the boys and girls now, going to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me.
Balloon artists were twisting inflatable fun items, while face painters applied colorful designs to kids. As it was getting dark, the B Street Bombers, who have been together for 45 years, took the stage as a prelude to the main attraction.
I feel good, like a little damn wood. I feel good, like a little damn wood. So good, so good, I got you. I feel nice, I feel like sugar in space. I feel nice, like sugar in space. So nice, so nice, I got you. Band! Have mercy.
So, without further ado, are we ready for some fireworks? A little louder, couldn't really hear you. Are you ready for some fireworks? All righty. I need your help with the countdown. We'll go from 10 all the way down to 1. All righty. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Happy Independence Day, Methuen. This is Karen Hayden reporting for Methuen Now.
One of the biggest names to come out of the American Revolution wasn't even an American. It was a Frenchman by the name of Marquis de Lafayette. Despite his passing in 1834, he recently paid a visit to us here in Methuen. Ian Hayden has our story.
Reliving a piece of Methuen history, the visit of Marquis de Lafayette to the city of Methuen during his victory tour at the end of the Revolutionary War. The event was held with the help of the Methuen Historical Society, now currently just known as Methuen History, after a recent name change and rebranding of the organization. Featuring a wonderful performance by an actor portraying Marquise de Lafayette, who stayed in character the entire time. We caught up with the Marquis and had a chance to ask him about his victory tour.
Yes, well, my tour, of course, I have now been in America nearly an entire year. I came to these American shores in the harbor of New York in August of 1824, and in the intervening months I have visited all of the many states of the Union. There are only 2 states I have yet to visit. Those are the states of Maine and Vermont. And so I am on the road to visit the last 2 states so that I can return to France, having said that I visited all 24 of the United States. Yes, of course. Thank you. Merci, mes amis. Merci. I will endeavor to make myself heard with the assistance of this voice amplification device, which is no doubt a lesser-known invention of the good Dr. Franklin. But it is indeed my pleasure to receive this warm and hospitable welcome from the citizens of Methuen, and once again to be among the patriotic Americans of Massachusetts. Merci. The sacrifices made by the residents of Massachusetts in our war for independence are not unknown to me, and so it warms my heart to be received in such a cordial and affectionate manner. My name is Marie-Joseph Paul Livroc Gilbert Dumoutier de Lafayette. You may call me General for short. And my obligations to the United States vastly exceed any merit that I might plausibly claim. They date from a time when I had the good fortune to be adopted by your country as a young soldier, a favored son. They have been continued to me over many decades of affections and confidence. And now, thanks to the most gracious invitation of your president, Monsieur Monroe, I have found myself greeted by a series of welcomes, each one of which would have been more than enough to compensate for all of the exertions of a lifetime. In these very towns, I have grasped the hands and looked once more into the eyes of men alongside whom I fought for the cause of independence, and been reminded with vivacity of those times when we shared the same dangers and fatigues.
Good afternoon, and it's thankful for the sunshine, which has become rather unusual. I want to introduce myself. My name is Joy Kapowitz. I'm now the president of Historic Methuen, formerly the Methuen Historical Society. I want to thank the Devon's Memorial Library and Krista and of course Joe Bello. We are so grateful to have Joe on our team because he does make all these wonderful things happen. And thank you to the Lafayette Society for making this stop in Methuen 200 years later. I am going to let the rest of the speakers speak so that we can all go on and enjoy our beautiful day. So it's a pleasure to meet you. Please come by the museum. It's going to be open the second week of July. If you're driving by, you'll happen to notice that the construction is almost done and it looks lovely. So please do stop by. Thank you. So the Methuen Historical Society decided to modernize or bring to the future a name change. We wanted to be something that was more inclusive, something that could involve more people. And we thought Historic Methuen represented the last 300 years and would bring us forward to the future. And 2 years ago, we voted to change the name, and we have now fully updated, and anything you'll see will say Historic Methuen. You can be happy to go to our website, historicmethuen.org. It'll tell you about our mission. It will also give you information on the Methuen Museum of History. That's on Pleasant Street, right next to the City Hall. So please come over and take a look anytime. And we'd be happy. We need membership. Please join. We need people. We need the community to become more involved. We want to save our history for another 300 years. Thank you.
The full program can be seen on MCS as Methuen History Lafayette Day 2025. For Methuen Now, this is Ian Hayden reporting.
School is out and the students are already enjoying their vacations. But for about 500 Methuen High School students, this past June marked an end and a beginning all at once. Caroline Russo takes us to the Methuen High School graduation. It was a day filled with pride, excitement, and a few happy tears as Methuen High School celebrated the graduating class of 2025. With blue skies overhead and hearts full of hope, nearly 500 students crossed the stage at the Danford Field in Nicholson Stadium, ready to step into their futures. The ceremony was marked by moving and memorable speeches from members of the class of 2025, each offering reflections on their journey, gratitude for the support of families and teachers, and plenty of encouragement for the road ahead.
Regardless of what your experience was like or how you feel about graduating, the freedom that follows this ceremony marks a drastic change in all of our lives. We're adults now, and what we choose to do is completely on us. There is no longer any requirement on what we must do or complete in terms of education, and what is to come year after year is inherently unpredictable and dictated by our own decisions. In fact, all of us have had to exercise this newfound freedom when deciding whether we're attending higher education, going right to work, learning a trade, or serving in the military. Within this freedom, who you are becomes evident. Whether you like it or not, the decisions you make truly define who you are. When you choose not to help others and instead put them down, it reveals selfishness and rudeness in your character. On the other hand, choosing to help others and uplift them when you can allows you to actively shape your identity in a more positive light. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to suggest that any of you are rude or selfish people. In fact, the level of collaboration and acceptance I've witnessed within this class is something to truly be admired.
So I implore you all to look at the path you have set for yourself in the upcoming years and select a goal. It can be as big as acting in a Hollywood movie or as small as making your bed every morning. But just choose something and take the time to plan out how you make sure you're successful. However, I do have one warning for you. It's a mistake I've been made since I was very young. I was actually reminded of a story recently that exemplifies this issue perfectly. I grew up a huge foodie, so when traveling as a child, my favorite part was eating at different restaurants. But the problem was that during each dinner, I would ask about where we'd be eating the following night, completely overlooking the moment I was in and the meal I was supposed to be enjoying. It was then that my mother began reminding me, be where your feet are. No matter how much you want to achieve something, you must make sure to be present in each moment throughout the process. After all, too much focus on the future spoils the joy of the present.
I owe much of my journey to the unwavering support of my parents and the path that they courageously paved for me since moving to the United States from Puerto Rico. It is a privilege to have been afforded the resources that allow me to pursue my deepest passions, a privilege directly born of their sacrifice. It is their struggles that have paved the way for me to pursue an education that allows me to honor the immense time, love, and investment they have poured into me the past 18 years. In addition to my family's support, another major source of strength actually stems from a line sung by my favorite jazz artist, which some of you may know is Ella Fitzgerald. It is a simple yet powerful line that reads, "Every cloud must have a silver lining. Wait until the sun shines through." Now, I'm going to be honest. When I first heard this line, I had no idea what a silver lining was. But as time has passed and the song has repeated, I have come to understand its underlying truth, that even in our darkest hours, hope endures. I have since then applied this understanding to many aspects of my life, to losses, frustrations, and failures, reminding myself that with every obstacle, something good can emerge.
From academic achievements to athletic victories and acts of service, the class of 2025 proved they were more than ready for this moment. And as tassels were turned and caps flew high, One thing was clear. The Methuen High graduates are heading into the world with passion, purpose, and a lot of Ranger pride.
No matter where our journeys take us, we can always count on the support who have gotten us this far in life. Parents, coaches, teachers, and friends truly care about us, so don't be afraid to use the support system that our incredible Methuen community provides. I hope we can all look back at our time together positively and use our experiences to find many upcoming successes. With that being said, I know we're all ready to leave, so I'm going to keep this short and wish you all good luck with the new beginning we have been blessed with. Now, for our final assignment, let's all move the tassel on our caps from the right to the left to symbolize our transition from students to graduates. Methuen High School, class of 2025, take a deep breath and remember this moment. It's time to toss your caps into the future.
Congratulations to the class of 2025. We can't wait to see what you'll accomplish next. Reporting from Methuen Now, I'm Carol Ann Russo. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Methuen Now. We hope you've enjoyed our program and will join us again next time for more stories about your community. For the Methuen Now team, I'm Michelle Houle. See you around.